I have been informed that my announcement has been deemed disrespectful.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time!
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming hard.
I am a visionary! I am a revolutionary!
The never seen 17!
Look at you now, boy! Ah! Look at you now! 4 letters, 1 word.
Last real champion, John Cena!
What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Rasslin with Ryan and Mike.
Hey, what's up?
A little different today, something a little unique today.
Yes, sir. So everyone in the world, unless you're living under a rock, has been watching the World Cup play out all throughout the world here. I mean, in Southern California, our team was Mexico. We weren't even really rooting for Team USA. We were rooting for Team Mexico. And when Mexico lost, I feel like our hearts were broken. Like people's spirits are broken. And so, I was really into I guess the fever of the World Cup, the passion of the World Cup, into the spirit of it. And so Ryan came up with a great idea for this podcast. And so we decided we're gonna do our own version of the World Cup using WWE superstars.
Yes, and we didn't do it like the one WWE did a few years ago, because that one is like, well, that one wasn't really a World Cup because it was basically just a bunch of Americans.
Right.
But
Exactly.
this one, yeah, we did it the best we could. We didn't do we didn't do 48 nations because we thought that'd be too much. So we picked 16. So I did the men's bracket. Mike did the women's bracket.
Right.
I figured that way you have like one of each
Right.
and
Yep.
stuff.
Before we get started, I want to remind everyone where they could follow us on all of our social medias. They can hit like, subscribe, smash that like button on our YouTube channel. Follow us on, obviously you're listening on either Apple Podcast or you're listening on Spotify. Ryan's wearing our merch. I still have to get my ass together and make more merch for us to sell. But you can follow us on our TikTok. It's a big platform for us. Instagram, X, YouTube, all of it. So hit like, subscribe at Least Some Up Sports.
Yes, and of course, if you have any messages or topics or questions for us, you can
We got 2 words for you. No, I'm
email us.
joking.
Email us.
If you got 2 words for us, yeah.
You go ahead and leave us the email at laceemuptakes@gmail.com.
Exactly. And if you want to tell us to suck it, then that's okay too. All right. Cool little thing going on, for us to do today. Do you want to get right to it, or it's up to you if we want to talk about what's been going on Raw and SmackDown first, and then we can get to the World Cup?
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on with Raw and SmackDown first.
Okay.
So this past Monday on Raw, we had Seth and Roman segment because Roman finally decided to show up to work again.
Oh my goodness.
But it also proved that it goes to show how much better segments can be when actually both are there and there's a history.
Right.
Because it's not easy to be the only person carrying a feud, and I know we've seen it plenty of times, and it doesn't always hit. But Seth and Roman, they both cut a good promo. It was a good segment. Good shots were taken. They really dived into their history. It looked like they broke a little bit of the kayfabe too, a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, no, they both had a good segment. You can say who like, oh, so and so once. I didn't really look at it like that. I think both actually cut like a really good segment. I think they both made valid points.
Well, if it was gonna be better than what Seth Rollins did last week. He cut a boring promo, one of those old traditional 25-minute old Triple H promos where he just bores the fuck out of you. That's what Seth Rollins did last week, and I'm glad.
But you can't put that all on Seth either.
Well, you can put it on the creative, you can put it on the writing, but it's just you can blame everybody, right? But also when somebody just stands there in the middle of the ring and speaks for 20 minutes, it's never actually beneficial for the audience because they're never actually really saying anything unless it's like a really fiery,
The
passionate promo.
the only, one of the very few that could actually hold their own, like talking on their own, because we saw it last year, and not just last year, we've seen it before. John Cena, he can do it. We've seen The Rock do it. We've seen Stone Cold do it.
CM
Like
Punk.
it can be done. Yeah, we've seen CM Punk. It can be done,
Yeah.
but not everybody can do it.
Right. Now, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, they got into the ring at the end of Monday Night Raw, and I feel like they had a good back and forth. Roman Reigns was really taking it to Seth Rollins. He had some good liners in there. Saying
Yeah,
Seth Rollins, he still needs a Money in the Bank to be world champion. He needs to fake an injury to be world champion, which is all true. Like, I mean, obviously, wrestling is scripted. Wrestling is not, theoretically real in a sense like that. But like
there are
storyline,
real aspects of it. Yeah,
obviously the physicalness of it is real. But like in
in terms of
storyline,
the story, how you build it.
In storyline, Seth Rollins, last time he was world champion, he needed a Money in the Bank. Last time he needed to phone an injury in order to fake out CM Punk. Right? I guess that was heel tactics by him because he was a heel at that point.
But at least he showed up to work every week and defended the title,
Hey,
unlike
Roman Reigns does not need to show up every week. He's the tribal chief. He can show up when he wants. He's the world champion.
he's a hypocrite.
How is he a hypocrite?
Because years ago he said, "I'm going to be a fighting champion. I'm a full timer.
Mm.
I've had enough of these part-time champions who barely come and defend their titles." He literally became the very thing he hated.
Look, when
You
you're asked
can't deny
counts,
that. You can't deny that.
but you know who also is a hypocrite?
CM Punk.
John Cena.
CM Punk.
John Cena was talking so much ish about The Rock when The Rock was a part timer,
All
and then
facts
look at
though.
all these years later.
All facts though. He didn't say any lies.
But look at all those years later, then John
Tell him when
Cena.
he's telling lies. He didn't tell no lies.
What are you talking about? He's a hypocrite, though.
So,
Sure.
so is
Obviously,
everybody in that company.
you could say CM Punk too. I'm not gonna deny that.
Anyways, back on track here. So yeah, Roman and Seth had a good segment.
Also called Triple H Seth's
Work
work
Daddy.
daddy. Yeah, but good promo to sell one of the main events for WrestleMania. It's not WrestleMania for SummerSlam coming up.
Yeah, and then we had a gauntlet match to determine the number one contender
Hmm.
Intercontinental Championship that was ultimately won by Chad Gable, which I think was the right move. The fans loved it. Gable gets a match in his hometown of Minnesota at SummerSlam against Penta. Hopefully they pull the trigger on Gable.
Hmm.
Now is the time to give him a push, give him singles title is now. But if he loses, that's it for him. That's it for him if he loses.
I can't see him losing. I mean, it's in his hometown. This is the big match of his career. One of the biggest matches. I think the biggest match was the mask versus mask match with Ludwig Kaiser back in Mexico. But this is the culmination of everything he's been working for, and so I cannot see WWE just having Penta retain. I think Chad Gable is going to get the big win, and he is deservingly so.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do think Chad wins it and deserves the win. But I'm just saying, like, if he doesn't win, I really think that's it for him. I think you can officially say he's buried.
I mean, buried is a strong word, but yeah, I mean, where else do you go with Chad Gable if he doesn't win? But we'll see. I do predict that Chad Gable will get the victory here at SummerSlam in a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And we opened the show with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman with Dallas police officers
Yeah.
with
Hmm.
coach because we all know they're probably just development wrestlers.
Right. Of course.
Um, you know, they cut a promo. It was an okay promo. I don't think Paul Heyman cuts promos like he used to anymore.
I mean, I disagree. I think Paul Heyman can really, he still has the ability to do it.
You
It's
know,
just,
like yeah, he still has the ability. I just feel like his promos now don't hit as they used to.
well, yeah. Also, too, I don't think like it's right now is the time for him to really be doing all that because this is Brock Lesnar's swan song here. And so Brock Lesnar, I'm glad they gave him the mic. They've been giving him the mic in order for him to just kind of like not stay silent and for him to speak on his own with having Paul Heyman still in his corner. That's kind of unique to see because I think, this is it for Brock Lesnar. So you want to be able to have Brock Lesnar use his voice in his final moments, then the lead up coming up to his, it hasn't been marketed like this. It hasn't been talked about, but I really do believe this is Brock Lesnar's final match coming up
Yeah,
at SummerSlam.
and perhaps the reason it's not being advertised and marketed as such is because maybe Brock himself doesn't want that.
Yeah,
Maybe Brock
possibly.
doesn't want that attention. He might not want that spotlight. He might just be like, "No, I'll do this. I'll put Oba over, and then I'll be on my
Mhm.
way."
Right, exactly. And that could be the career for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we don't know for sure because we all thought it was over after WrestleMania.
Yeah, we
We
all
all
got so.
thought so. Now it's one of those things like don't hold your breath just yet.
And look, in wrestling, you only have really one guy that I fully believe will be retired, and that's John Cena. Look at me giving John Cena credit here. I only think that John Cena will stay true to his word. Everyone else, they retire and eventually will come back. And so I can't really say that Brock Lesnar is going to be officially retired when I think, there's money to be made still. And obviously there's going to be more Saudi Arabia events or Saudi Arabia WrestleMania next year. And so look at, does Brock take the payday coming up for future events?
And I mean, I'm also hearing rumors that they're potentially building toward Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar down the road.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I think it would be a good match, but you got to build Braun back up again. You got to get him out of the vision. Um, Also, I feel like you can't say Brock's gonna retire because Gunther's not involved, and Gunther's probably like, "No, you ain't done till I put you down."
Right, right.
But I mean, Gunther's well and buried as he should be, so we don't gotta
Oh
worry
no.
about that.
No, I don't think so. He's not buried. Not at all. It is a step down because the rumored
He's
match got.
lost 3 straight championship matches.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's buried though, but it is a step down. I will say that. But speaking of Gunther, he will be potentially facing an in-ring debuting.
A WWE debut for
Yes,
all this.
Nick Aldis. Yeah. Which is really intriguing to me because, for those that, don't know, Nick Aldis has had a pretty successful wrestling career, wrestling in independence, wrestling in NWA, wrestling in all over the place, not in WWE. He hasn't wrestled in AEW, but basically everywhere except WWE, Nick Aldis has wrestled, and he's had a very successful career. He's been a multiple time world champion in and especially in the NWA. I know he was the world champion, so Nick Aldis is no joke in the ring, and it'll be interesting to see how Nick Aldis fares making his in-ring debut. Potentially, still hasn't been talked about, in a sense, but that's been the lead up so far for this match with him and Gunther.
Yeah, because that's how SmackDown ended. SmackDown ended with Gunther taking out Nick Aldis, and this is the most physical we've seen Nick Aldis be since he's been in WWE. Uh,
Hmm.
and I don't think it's all for nothing. I do think the payoff is he does have a match with Gunther at SummerSlam, and I mean I think it could be a good match, but the question is, do you put Gunther over or do you have Nick Aldis go over? Because if Nick Aldis goes over, then you're taking a risk because then it's like, well, you just had Gunther who literally went from retiring Goldberg, AJ Styles, and John Cena to losing to general manager.
Yeah, so I can't see Nick Aldis getting the victory here. Gunther needs the victory here in order to just keep his relevance up and his stature in the main card, in the main event scene in WWE. He needs that victory for sure. So he can't be losing to the GM.
Yeah, unless there's some sort of like chewy finish, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Aldis is like, no, put him over.
Right. Right.
'Cause
Um,
I feel like he's gonna be like the Shane McMahon type role. He'll wrestle on occasion, but
yeah.
it'll be one of those things like he's not gonna go over because he doesn't need to.
Right. Absolutely. Um, what else are we forgetting here? Oh, Solo Sikoa joining the Bloodline. Not so much. Not so fast
We
here.
got a 6-man tag, a random,
Yes.
very random 6-man tag match for SummerSlam. A match you could easily have on a Raw or SmackDown. But
Right.
they're doing that SummerSlam, which makes me think there's probably going to be some shorter shenanigans happening.
Yeah, who knows? It's going to be interesting to see where they take the development of Solo Sikoa because I feel like he has a lot of potential as a babyface. He has a lot of charisma. He's good on the microphone. It's funny because when he debuted on the main roster, he was a silent killer, and now he's very charismatic on the microphone. And they could use that personality in some ways. And I don't know. I mean, I can't really see them fully letting the reins off of Sikoa where they just let him go out there and be a silly character, but um, there still needs to be a side of seriousness with him. But I think he has the potential for to be a good, solid babyface on that roster.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting because it's him, LA Knight, and Royce Keys
hmm
versus the Usos and Jacob.
Usos missing one of their well, I guess one half of the Usos is Jay Uso, who's been dealing with some issues, personal issues, reported by TMZ. I guess Jay
Him and his
Uso's
wife got divorced.
yeah, so you know, that's been taking Jey Uso off of television the last couple of weeks. So hopefully they've got everything in order there. Jey Uso doesn't need to miss any more time, hopefully, and they can hopefully have a good match, and make this thing work at SummerSlam.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be interesting because I think some sort of shenanigans are happening. Is this where you potentially get a new member added to the bloodline?
Yeah,
Is Solo rejoining the bloodline here? That's the only reason why I think this is happening at SummerSlam because something's going down.
right.
I
There's
just
gonna
don't know
be
what it is. It's one of two things. It's either someone is joining the bloodline or Solo rejoins the bloodline. It's one of those two
who
things.
do you think would join the Bloodline?
I mean, there's rumors that it's Zilla Fatu,
So Fatu, yeah, it
the
makes
son
the
of
most sense.
Umaga. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the most sense. And so,
Been seen at the Performance Center. He's reiterated multiple times that he wants to be in WWE.
yeah.
So I feel like if they're gonna do it, there's no better time than to do it now. It's the second biggest show of the year.
Right. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I think I could definitely see that going down because Triple H loves to make appearances. People debut at, big events. Obviously, if
Or
Zilla Fat 2 does debut, the black hood, black jacket's gonna come
yeah,
out of retirement and
yeah,
he's gonna be fully donning that thing.
yeah. No, because it's SummerSlam. It's all been debuts and returns since I think 2021.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2021 saw Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch. I was there for that, so I got to see both of those. It was crazy.
Nice.
Um,
But yeah.
so
So I think, we're WWE is heading in a good spot in terms of building for SummerSlam. It's not a bore. I wouldn't say that
yeah,
I'm bored with the current product right now. I think
and well, finish your thought.
no, I just think that they've done a semi decent job. I think yeah, it could be better, but I'm not looking at the SummerSlam card and thinking, oh my God, it's lacking this, it's lacking that. No, we got a Hell in a Cell match. We have Punk versus. Also, we haven't even talked about that. We have Punk versus Cody coming up. Which we can get into right now. But yeah, kind of looking forward to the SummerSlam card.
Yeah, and speaking of SmackDown, I will say last week SmackDown actually put on a pretty good show.
Right.
Hopefully that's a step in the right direction because I know we've both been saying SmackDown's been lacking and it has been the more like it's been the show that you can tell is seriously lacking. But last week's show was pretty good, and you have tonight, so hopefully it's a step in the right direction, and SmackDown starts to be more watchable and
Yeah.
make an impact. And I think Punk is definitely going to help out with that.
Right.
So yeah, as you said, we have Punk versus Cody, which you were literally telling me the other day that's still one of the biggest matches the company can do.
Yeah, obviously, look, I would have preferred that Sami Zayn would have been introduced into this matchup here at SummerSlam. coming up in a couple weeks. But it looks like Sami Zayn is not going to have a match.
Speaking of Sammy, he is returning tonight after a mental health break, so it'll be interesting to see what happens
Yeah,
tonight.
true. We still have some time.
So
Also,
so
yeah.
that's possible he could still be thrown into the mix.
Right, right. But yeah, on the card right now we have Punk versus Cody, which last week it was basically just kind of like a challenge thrown down, right? Like remember the night after WrestleMania, Punk saying, "Well, you never know when a championship opportunity is going to come." Well, Cody Rhodes said the same thing last week.
Yep. And they came a little close there. It looked like they were about to kiss.
Yeah, exactly. You would have
But
liked that.
yeah, no, you can tell it's a match everyone's excited for. It's like it's one of the biggest matches WWE can do. It'll be interesting to see if Sammy gets involved, if he's going to get factored in
Right.
some capacity. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely. Also, too, coming up, is it this Saturday? Is it tomorrow or next Saturday? Is
next Saturday,
Saturday night's main event?
next Saturday.
Okay, yeah. Saturday night's main event in New York City at Madison
Wait,
Square Garden.
actually, no, it is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's right, because it's Fanatics Fest. That's right. That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is tomorrow. I thought it was next week, but I forgot Fanatics Fest is this week. I was thinking it was next weekend for some
No,
reason,
because
but yeah,
Cody and everybody's seen a bunch of people at Fanatics Fest.
yeah, they're all there because we know. So, yeah, Saturday Night's main event is tomorrow. Totally forgot about it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the big match that's been marketed is Danhausen versus JD McDonough. And then another match is was no there's a tag team match now on there, right?
Cody
Yeah,
and Punk versus Sam and Gunther, which has been
got you.
confirmed to be the main event.
Yeah, so you could still see
Maybe something goes down tomorrow.
yeah, you still could see Sami Zayn involved in this main event at SummerSlam somehow. So
Or yeah, because it's been confirmed that the tag match is the main event tomorrow.
yeah,
And then you have the women's tag team championships being up for grabs.
right.
Paige and Bree versus Fatal Attraction,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
which I think we get new champs, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Shall see.
Sorry.
Bless you. But
Letting my
yeah,
demons
you have.
out.
But yeah, Saturn's main event is tomorrow. That
Yes,
I feel
sir.
like that's also gonna help decide what SummerSlam will look like as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then real quick, because we were talking about this the other day when we were in the car. Let's talk about the women's division and the world champions and how much this women's division is really lacking right now.
I mean, you think about look at Liv Morgan hasn't defended her title since WrestleMania or since she won it at
Yeah, since
WrestleMania.
she won it, she's had no title, at least televised. I'm not,
Zero.
yeah, because I'm sure she's defended at live events and house shows, but televised defense is zero. Uh,
Um, Rhea Ripley has been injured. She tore her meniscus in one of her knees, and so look, they've been out, and look at Stephanie Vaquer has been out. Um, it's just been a slaw for the women's division, and I just feel like it's really been suffering. They need some shakeup. They need some movement in this women's division because there really is not a whole lot. Like, what's Io Sky even doing right now?
yeah, well, I mean, it's EO versus Liv at SummerSlam.
Okay, yeah, all right. But then, like again, like that's their first. That's Liv's first title defense. Like I think, like, are they gonna have Liv be one and done? Just it just I don't know. It just doesn't feel like
Especially because there's still more story to tell. Because I think it's bound to happen that either she turns or Raquel and or Roxanne turn on Liv.
yeah, sure, definitely. And there has to be. Look at the Judgment Day now is basically a women's faction
It's
besides JD
so
McDonough and Dominic.
and Dom, but it even feels like now that Dom and JD are just the side characters.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like there needs to be some shake up in the women's division. Some I guess if you want to do more with Raquel and Roxanne, or if you want to just do something in
And
terms of
there's a point you made that you were telling me the other day because it hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's most likely going to happen. Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill. You were
right.
saying. if they strip her of the championship, have make that the WWE Women's Championship
Right,
match.
because look at Rhea Ripley. I don't think she's going to be back on time in terms of defending her title at SummerSlam. The meniscus is taken very slow. They need to just strip Rhea Ripley of the title, and it does nothing for Rhea Ripley. Like if they strip her, who cares? Like
She can she can win it back when she gets back. There's nothing wrong with that.
exactly. And so you have Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. You continue that program.
You mean Charlotte
Sorry, yes.
Flair?
Charlotte versus Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
And, whoever wins that becomes the women's champion. And then when Rhea comes back, you have a already made story.
Yeah, because Rio will be like, oh, that's the championship I never lost.
Exactly. Yeah. No, definitely. And so the women's division is in such flux right now. And
And it's sad because last year it carried the WWE
yeah.
last year. It was like their strongest point
Yeah.
last year. And now they've taken the complete 180. And of course, injuries happen, so you can't blame the woman, but yeah, no, the woman is lacking compared to the last year. It feels like a lot of women are just like out of place. We haven't seen a lot. Like, where the hell has Jordan Grace been?
Who knows? Who knows? I feel like Triple H and the creative team in general have really done a disservice to the women's division since even before WrestleMania. I feel like because there wasn't like an emphasis on women's wrestling.
And the
It hasn't
women's
been in a
matches,
while.
the women's matches were all less than 10 minutes at
Right.
WrestleMania.
Exactly. And yeah, granted, there's been injuries here and there, but like the women's division is stacked in WWE. You can't tell me that you can't pull up certain people or you use certain people to have the void of certain
Yeah,
superstars.
and then think about this. Becky Lynch has been out. When she comes back, you could easily put her back into the world title picture.
Yeah, you can easily
She's
use
a
Becky
heel or
Lynch
a
as a
baby
baby
face
face
because
or a
she does
heel.
great at both.
Yeah, heel or face, she's good.
Yeah, she does great as both, and it depends on who is the champion. If it's Liv, I could see Becky coming back as a baby face. If it's Io, I see Becky staying as a heel.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But all right. It is now time for our main event of this podcast. Ryan, would you like to get started with your men's World Cup bracket?
Yes, so I will. I'm gonna go. I will go down my list and say who my countries are, and then who the representative is, and I'll break it down into the matches and the finals and my third place match and stuff. So first off, the first country I have is Austria, and of course, who else to represent Austria than the career killer himself, Gunther. I feel like that one was easy because it's like, oh, it's he's like from Vienna, Austria, so it's just like that's what I kid you not, that was like the first country that came to my mind just because it's like, yeah, I'm just so used to hearing him be like from Austria, so it's like, oh,
Right,
I'll do that. It's like tailor made. Plus, Austria was actually in the World Cup.
right, right.
Uh, so it's like it's kind of I did my best to include countries that were in the World Cup, but obviously there are some that aren't, which is fine. But I did my best to try to at least represent some of the countries that actually were in the World Cup this year. And then of course Nigeria, Obafemi.
Of course.
Well, it was a toss up because I wasn't sure. I was like, am I gonna do like multiple people or just one? And then you're like, here, just do one. I'm like, okay, that
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because I was like, oh, do I do Omos and Oba or Omos or Oba? Because those are really the only
No, it's
two
just easier if we did one, of
here. Yeah, and plus it's like Oba Femi. Like everybody knows who Oba Femi is.
course.
And then USA, of course, I have my goat, John Cena. There's a lot. Honestly, there was a lot to choose from the US. You
Of
couldn't.
course.
Honestly, you couldn't go wrong with anybody
Right.
that you picked. Like it's same thing with Canada. Even for the women, there's a lot of women to pick from Canada. Same thing with me. And then for Canada, of course, I picked Bret Hart.
Yeah. Of course.
And then Japan, Shinsuke Nakamura. For France, Andre the Giant.
The boss.
Italy, Bruno Sammartino.
Man, yeah. Strong. Those are some strong guys right there,
Yeah,
What a
and
tournament
those,
so
and
far.
those are Andre and Bruno. Those are some big names back in their day.
Right.
And then Russia, I have Ilya Dragunov.
Great selection.
Bulgaria, I have Rusev.
Hmm.
Good old Rusev Day. Scotland, none other than the Scottish Warrior himself, Drew McIntyre.
Herself?
Hmm?
You said herself.
Himself. I said himself.
Oh, okay.
If I said herself, my name himself. But anyways, Drew McIntyre for Scotland, Australia, Big Bronson Reed.
There you go. Another strong one.
Yeah, I had to look up because I knew he was from another country. I had to double check if he was from Australia.
Yeah.
Um, because sometimes the accent, it's like their accent sounds like one
Right.
thing, but it sounds like another. So Bronson Reed, then Ireland, of course, Finn Balor.
Hmm.
England, I have William Regal.
Okay.
War
Very
Games.
good. War games
Speaking of war games, they're running back war games again.
in Houston, Texas.
Houston, yes, sir. Germany, I have El Grande Americano himself,
There
Ludwig
you
Kaiser.
go. Wait, he doesn't represent Mexico?
You'll see who I have representing
Okay.
Mexico.
All right. All right.
No, because Ludwig Kaiser himself is from Germany. That's why I
True.
did it.
True. Okay.
Spain, Axiom,
Okay.
because I believe he's from Barcelona.
Hmm.
Mexico, I have the greatest luchador of all time, Rey Mysterio.
That makes sense.
You thought I was gonna say Dom, huh?
Yeah. Not joking.
No, Rey Mysterio. And honestly, that was a toss up because I was like, do I do him or Penta? It was that one was actually a toss up for me.
Right.
But I was like, no, I'll do Rey Mysterio because I feel like he's a more well-known name, and I feel like if they did actually do a World Cup in this format, they probably would send him because Rey Mysterio is a very popular, well-known name around the world.
Exactly.
I was also taking that into consideration too.
Right.
Like if they actually did it like this, who would they choose to send?
Right.
Um, so my first round, I have Oba Femi versus Gunther. Well, I'll talk about that. That will be we're gonna get that match in WWE
Oh
someday.
my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. So that's kind of a dream match,
That's going to
really.
be a hard hitting match.
Yeah,
Those two
it's
rules.
honestly it's kind of a dream match too.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that being for a world title or something. I have
Hmm.
Oba Femi coming out on top in that one.
Hmm.
Then oh man, this one would have been a great match. We have Bret Hart versus John Cena.
Oh my gosh. What an opening round match.
Yeah, and this match would have been, if we got this match in real life.
Brett would have whooped that ass.
I mean, hey, you can say what you want about John Cena, but he steps up when it matters most. I definitely think he would
Yeah, and
put
I
up
can't believe
a
having
match.
Bret Hart losing the first round like that.
That's the thing about the World Cup is you have some powerhouses that have to go.
It's true. Yeah. There's
That
also shockers.
which is what makes it so great.
There's also upsets too.
Yeah. So here, obviously, John Cena goes over. And this one is like lopsided. You're like, what the hell? But I also feel like it would be a good match. You have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
And this one, Andre the Giant comes out on top.
Okay. Okay.
And then this one, this one would be a banger, hard hitting. Bruno Sammartino versus Ilya Dragunov.
Hmm. Wow. That would be very, very physical right there.
Yeah, very physical, very technical because Bruno was very technical.
Right.
And this one, I do have Bruno Sammartino coming out on top.
Because he was WWF champion, heavyweight champion.
Arguably the greatest champion in the company's history.
Arguably, if Hulk Hogan didn't exist or Steve Austin or John Cena did, yeah, you could definitely.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
he also has the longest WWE Championship title reign of all time.
True. Yeah.
He held it
Mhm.
for what, like 8 years?
Something like that. Back when they would keep the title on these guys for
Yeah.
that
But
amount of time.
back then Bruno was so popular. He was the guy back then.
Yeah,
Loved
exactly.
amongst the young people and the adults. He literally was like what you
The
want.
60s and the 70s, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he was
definitely.
what you wanted because everybody loved him.
Right.
And then this next one, which I think we have seen, but I feel like if we see it now, it'd be so cool. We have Drew McIntyre versus Rusev.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, for
This one,
sure.
I do have Drew McIntyre coming out on top. And this one, which I don't think we've seen it, maybe we have, but Bronson Reed versus Finn Balor.
Okay,
And I actually do think if they do wrestle that they would put on a great match.
they would.
Finn, he can put on a show with anybody.
Oh, you can. Fitness is that great.
Yeah, he is. And Bronson Reed's not that bad himself either for being a
No.
big man.
I mean, Bronson Reed is so versatile in the
Oh
ring.
yeah, for being a big man. See, yeah,
Yeah.
no, Bronson Reed is great.
Tsunami.
Yeah, then I do have Finn Balor coming out on top of that one.
Okay.
This one, which I think we have seen before, maybe not. We have William Regal versus Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
With Rey Mysterio coming out on top,
Okay.
Mexico. And then this one we have Ludwig Kaiser versus Axiom, and I have Axiom coming out on top.
Okay.
And so going into my quarterfinals, and man, this is a match. This is the match everybody wanted to be the retirement match for John Cena. I have Oba Femi versus John
Oh
Cena.
man, could you imagine?
This
That
what
would be
wanted.
tough, man. But a prime John Cena has to win that match.
Yeah, yeah, no, and so of course John Cena comes out in a very close matchup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think if it were to happen in real life, it would be a very close back and forth.
Yep.
And then this one, this one would be a very much a dream match. I don't know if we ever got it. I don't think we did. Andre the Giant versus Bruno Sammartino.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if we ever got that, but man, back in that's definitely a main event all over the world in the 60s, in the early 70s, I think like even maybe mid to late 70s for sure. I think WWF sells out all over the world with that kind of main event.
Yeah, and I give Andre the edge in this one.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would definitely go with that.
yeah, I gave Andre the edge in this one.
Andre the Giant.
And then, and then this one is a match we've seen a few times. I think we saw it in NXT. Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor.
Okay, good.
And I give Drew the win here.
Hmm.
And then this one, which would be a very fun matchup, even if it happens today, it'd be very fun. Rey Mysterio versus Axiom.
Yeah, but Ray.
Yeah, you give Rey the win here. And
Okay.
then the semifinals and another big hard hitting match that many would probably see as a dream match today. You have John Cena versus Andre the Giant, which would
Wow.
be very similar to Hogan and Andre.
Yeah.
In terms of like you have the ultimate baby face and then the unstoppable giant.
Yeah.
Um, and then John Cena does come out on top in that one.
Wins with an attitude adjustment.
A few of them.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
And then this one, I don't. I think we got it. Maybe in his first run, I think we got it. But Drew McIntyre versus Rey Mysterio,
Yeah. We for
and
sure have already seen that
yeah,
one.
and I gave Drew the win here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then our third place match is is Rey Mysterio versus Andre the Giant,
Okay.
and I give Rey the win here.
All right. Damn.
I do give
Really?
Rey the win here.
Why? Over Andre the Giant?
I mean, again, I think I was looking into it. It's like we've seen Ray versus big men before and coming out on top.
Yeah.
I think that's why I did it, and also just to prove like hey, even the little guy can do it.
Right. Right.
So I do have Rey Mysterio coming out on top, and he ends up finishing in third place. And then our finals, which this is another match people wanted on the farewell tour. I know both men wanted it, but it didn't happen. John Cena versus Drew McIntyre
Wow. In the final?
in the final, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And
Wow.
of course, my goat
What a
comes out on
match.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a match. I'm pretty sure they considered this match. It's a shame it did not happen because this would have they
Right.
would have put on a great match during the farewell tour last year.
Exactly.
It would have been great if they did it. You know, I would have loved if that was the Clash in Paris match.
Right. No, that would have been a great match, and I think that we unfortunately missed out on that for sure because that those two men would have had. I think they would have had great chemistry in the ring.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I don't think they ever wrestled
No, I don't think so either.
unless it was like a house show and maybe
Yeah.
Drew's first run, but I don't think they did. So of course. my winner of the men's WWE World Cup is none other than the GOAT himself, John
Boo.
Cena.
Boo.
But you can't deny there are some great matches.
Of course.
You can't deny there are some great matches in here and all that stuff. But I
Yeah,
mean, if the U.S. can't win in soccer, then we'll win it in wrestling.
exactly. All right. So, as Ryan did the men's tournament, I had the distinct honor of coming up with the women's bracket of the WWE World Cup here. And so, it takes current WWE diva wrestlers, not diva, women's wrestlers, and mixed in with women's wrestlers of the past. So I have group stages here, A, B, C, and D. And the first group stage is Trish Stratus representing Canada versus Paige in England. The other group stage matchup is Becky Lynch, Ireland versus Piper Niven in Scotland. Um, with that, I have Trish Stratus beating Paige to move on to the quarters, and I have Becky Lynch defeating Piper Niven to move on to the quarters as well. Group B stage is Stephanie Vaquer, Mexico versus Gail Kim, South Korea. And then I have Io Sky, Japan, versus Tiffany Stratton representing Norway, because she has a Norwegian descent in her. And so moving on to the quarters will be Stephanie Vaquer defeating Gail Kim and Io Sky defeating Tiffany Stratton. Group C stage is Charlotte Flair representing Team USA versus Lyra Valkyria representing Ireland. And then also in the Group C stage is Rhea Ripley representing Australia.
Just say careful
I
there.
know, exactly.
Two
Australia.
different nations.
I know. And then she will be facing Mariah May, Germany. And so Charlotte Flair defeats Lyra Valkyria to move on to the quarters, and Rhea Ripley defeats Mariah May. And then in the last group, D stage is Xia Li representing China versus Maurice, who's representing France. I also have Zelina Vega representing Puerto Rico versus Julia representing Italy. I have a bit of an upset here. I have Maurice defeating Xia Li representing France. So France is moving on to the quarters, and then I have Julia defeating Zelina Vega to move on to the quarters as
Sounds like
well.
sounds like France fared very well in both sides.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what the World Cup is all about. You have upsets as well. All right, so the quarterfinal matchups is Trish Stratus representing Canada versus Becky Lynch. I mean, I don't know. Did we ever get that one? We did.
Yes,
Did
we
we?
did. Their first two
Yeah.
were okay, but their steel cage match was
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. And
one
that
of
was
the great.
surprising too because that was Trish Stratus at an older age,
I mean,
still being
hey,
able to.
she can still go.
Exactly.
Hey, she's Trish Stratus. Like, come on, man.
Right. So in this quarterfinal matchup, Becky Lynch defeats Trish Stratus, and so Ireland is moving on into the semis. Also in the quarterfinals is Stephanie Vaquer versus EO Sky. What a matchup is there as well. So EO Sky defeats Stephanie Vaquer to move on to the semis. And then Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley here in the quarters. Rhea Ripley will be defeating Team USA in Charlotte Flair. So Rhea Ripley moving on to the semis. And then the last quarterfinal matchup here is Maurice versus Julia. Julia stomps on Maurice and advances to the semifinals here. And so some good matchups there, you know. Here and then in the semifinals, we have Becky Lynch representing Ireland versus Io Sky representing Japan.
What a
And then,
what a match that is.
oh yeah. And then Rhea Ripley, Australia versus Julia representing Italy. So Becky versus Io, it's a great matchup here. But then I have Io Sky advancing to the finals, defeating Becky Lynch. So Team Japan is advancing to the finals, and then you have Rhea Ripley versus Julia and another banger of a match here. But Rhea Ripley advances to the finals, defeating Julia. So you have in the finals here, you have Io Sky representing Japan and Rhea Ripley representing Team Australia here in the finals here. Who do you think wins this matchup, Brian? Io Sky or Rhea Ripley?
If me personally, I give it to EO just because I think she's the best women's wrestler in the world right now.
Hmm.
But I mean, you can't go wrong with Ripley because also Rhea Ripley has never beaten Io Sky
Right.
in a one-on-one match.
So Rhea Ripley comes out as the victor here and wins the Women's World Cup. It's a banger of a match. This thing goes close to an hour, and these two women just lay it out on the line. But Rhea Ripley comes through with the victory here, and I guess you wanted to call it like a the
Third place. I
third
get
place
it. If you
match.
want to do it, you can. You don't have to.
Becky versus Julia. I think another banger of a match here, but Becky wins the third place match.
Honestly, that's pretty solid. I think both of us had pretty solid
Oh
lists.
yeah.
We had some nations going,
Mm-hmm.
completely like Team USA one on my side,
Yep.
Australia on your side. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Great matches on both sides. So
Right, exactly. It's kind of hard to decide who would win, Obviously, like in the quarterfinals I had Trish versus Becky, like that's kind of tough to decide. And then Io versus Stephanie, like it kind of
yeah,
pains me to
yeah, no, especially because it's like you can only choose one.
exactly. Yeah, but some good stuff here.
Yeah,
Good
no,
stuff.
this was fun. It was cool. I felt it was relevant, because you got the World Cup third place game tomorrow between
Sure.
France and England, and then you have the World Cup final on Sunday between the defending champions Lionel Messi, Argentina versus Spain, and was sure to be an amazing final
Who do you think is gonna win?
for the third place and the final.
Yeah, well, the final.
The final, I got to give the edge to Argentina just because they got the greatest soccer player in the world,
Yeah,
and
you can't
they're the defending champs.
you can't go against the GOAT.
But also Spain, they're young and they have been their defenses have been impeccable.
Right.
Well, this entire World Cup, they've only allowed one goal.
That's insane.
One.
That's insane. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for today's podcast. Any last words here, Ryan, before we end the podcast?
I mean, just thank you everybody for watching, tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed us doing this World Cup. I figured, let's try doing something a little different, a little unique.
Hmm.
Instead of it just being like, oh, us talking back and forth and debating, it's like this was really a debate. It's like we gave our wrestling version of the World Cup.
Right.
Soccer's biggest tournament meets WWE.
Exactly. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun putting this
Yeah,
together.
it's always fun. I always enjoy putting like a wrestling spin on other sports.
Right. Exactly. No, I love that too. And so great idea by Ryan. And that's what you have to look forward to on this podcast. We just don't talk about boring random stuff. We have games, we have, random things that we're gonna do. Sometimes Ryan is shirtless on the podcast showing his guns. You never know what to expect on Wrestling with Ryan and Mike.
Yeah, no, yeah, this was fun to do. I definitely would love to do something like this again.
Heck, I'm not even wearing pants right now, but you can't see that. I'm joking. But all right,
Um,
guys, thank you guys again for joining in. LA Sports Roundup podcast is out and available. Do you think Aaron Donald returns to the Rams? Who knows? I think it's already set in stone.
and
All right.
how will Luca fare in his first season as pretty much the center of the Lakers?
Exactly. All right. Until next time, guys. We'll see you.